The magical mystery tour is dying to take you away. We were just in Lidl, going to the brunch with my very good friend Laura and Zach. Um, we're going to, go for a little brunch, like educated people. And I'm going to take this opportunity that I'm giving myself to tell you a little bit about, I believe, the inception points of me wanting to go on this trip. The first and very obvious sign in the past that I liked the trip enough for me to replicate it is when I was 16. My father brought me to the Le Mans 24 Hours, the motorcycle race, not the cars race. It's 400 kilometers one way, so like it's a little bit under 1,000 kilometer weekend. It is tiring if you've only ever done like Sunday rides. It is exhausting. It is exhausting, but it was one of the best experiences that I've had as a teenager. That was insane. And the next year I went again, and the next year I went again. No, it was great. Going to Le Mans is always something that I did look forward to, and it didn't disappoint because it's in my childhood memories. It's in my teenage year memories. So even now, with the time that has passed, I even have the rosy tinted glasses that I can lean onto and just like enjoy these memories even more. So that was one. I was going with my father though, so that's one thing. But like you need also to be able to go yourself, right? A few years later, what I did is that I went to the Bol d'Or, which is Bol d'Or used to be held at the Circuit de Castellet. Bol d'Or is now held, it was held at the time in Nevers-Manicourt. It was wild. Like there's no. It was a wild experience. If you watch MotoGP and you see that the crowds are like a little bit more rowdy in Le Mans, for instance, during the MotoGP calendar, it is insane. Like cars burn. There's like people like revving their engines all night long. There's like stunts that are done. Like some of them are done officially and are like somewhat regulated. But like some stunts are just like on the street and mostly with drunk people. So I would say danger. I don't know that it's still happening. Maybe it is, but it would be a bit shocking to know that it still exists within the health and safety climate that we're living in right now. Then I have to mention the first time I went abroad. First time I went abroad with my motorcycle was it was quite the trip. It was quite the experience. I'm very fond of motorcycle racing, if you couldn't tell until now. And one of the championships that I really wanted to go and see is the British Superbike. At the time, I was working in Normandy. That's 2012, 2014, something like that. By elimination, because of the distance and the dates that would match correctly, I elected the Thruxton race. What you need to know about Thruxton is that unless you ride the Triumph, nobody even knows the name. Like, when you say somebody, you're going to Thruxton, you might as well say, I don't know, you're going to like the smallest village no one has ever heard of. It's, again, in the countryside. And pretty much same thing there. I did have a map. I did buy a map when I landed in not landed, but when I disembarked at the port in southern England. And aside from the fact that I was not ready for the exchange rate, which was very expensive, I had a jolly old time. And once again, I told my father, "Do you want to go there?" And he said, "If you're going, I'm going." And I said yes. I said I'm going, so I have to commit. I have to do it. My father was leaving from northern France, so we didn't even take the same ferry. I was in Normandy at the time, and we met at the racetrack. And it was quite the experience. Going on such a trip and saying, "Hey, will you be there?" Even though it's my father and I know he's reliable, like it's still hard to say it. It's still kind of intimidating because you're leaving on your own, and bear in mind, I'm like 20 at the time, so I'm old enough to do all that stuff. But it's still very exciting. So for now, the trips I'm telling you about were done on bikes, as in big bikes. My father had doing all those experiences, ZX9R, Kawasaki. I was riding 650 SVs. The next trip I want to tell you about is one trip that was done in England still, but this one I did cycling. And oh boy, cycling is different. It's very slow first, and it's the first time that I wanted to use what I'm doing right now, like a camera and a microphone, and wanting to document a trip. It is so hard it's very hard to put into words, but when you think about it on the surface, you think, yes, it's a very good idea. It's good for branding, it has a lot of value. Why should you not do it? But the reason is because it is very hard to speak and cycle at the same time. Cycling is very intense as far as like cardio, especially if you're cycling all day, and if you're going uphill, and if your bike is loaded with like all the equipment and the electronics and the tents. And long story short, I have footage of the first 2 days, and then I have like 30-second clips every other day. It was a very good trip. I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as I wanted to. It was hard. Some of it was being on my own, some of it was being so slow, some of it was being lost. Bear in mind, even at that time, I still don't live with a map. I don't seem to learn. I went all the way up to Calais in the beginning, and then I couldn't hop on the ferry, so then I went to Zeebrugge. From Zeebrugge, I went to Hull in England, and from Hull I went to Liverpool and up to Scotland, up to Edinburgh through the Lake District. I cannot recommend it enough. If you are in England and you want to go to a very beautiful scenic place, the Lake District is for you. It is majestic. I loved it. So that's where we are now. That's the experience level we have, and it's going to go up a notch with this trip. And I am slowly getting to my destination, so I'm going to leave you here, meet my friends, have a brunch, have a good time, and see you in the next one.